USA 9 News at 6 starts right now with breaking news. Kilmar Abrego Garcia, the man wrongly deported from Prince George's County, is back in the United States. He just landed in Nashville, and the Justice Department says he is now facing federal charges. Thank you for being here. I'm Leslie Foster, and we've been following every new development of this story for months. Tonight, our investigative reporter, Jordan Fisher, is breaking down the latest details for us. And Jordan, we know you've got your hands on some brand new documents, so walk us through what you're learning.
Right, Leslie, we've heard that Kilmar Abrego Garcia is preparing to enter a detention hearing in the middle of District of Tennessee right now. This is the detention memo that the Justice Department has just filed tonight. And as I said earlier, really moving very quickly on this. Normally this is the sort of thing you would see filed after an initial hearing. And what they're asking for here is for him to be held without bond while he awaits trial, whenever that would be. And you know, in this document, as I said at 5, contains a lot more explosive allegations, but also less well-supported allegations than what we see in the indictment. The indictment is so focused on this November 2022 traffic stop in which Kilmar Abrego Garcia was found with 8 other men without identification in a van. You know, this document, this detention memo, it talks about alleged, child pornography solicitation. It talks about alleged incidents of sexual violence, and all of that seems to be sourced to unnamed co-conspirators. That's the sort of thing that tends to raise judges' eyebrows when the government comes in and says, this is why we want you to hold him.
He's not going to be convicted of these crimes. There's no way a jury is going to see the evidence and agree that, this sheet metal worker is the leader of an international MS-13 smuggling conspiracy. But even in the hypothetical world in which he were convicted of the charges, he still got a valid order of withholding of removal. The government will still bear the burden of taking him back before the immigration court to try to lift that.
Right, so that we just heard from Abrego Garcia's attorney right there talking about how they're looking at the case. Obviously, he has said that he was caught off guard by this, didn't know that his client was coming back to the U.S. Now, I spoke to a veteran defense attorney earlier and I asked, what's the first thing you would do in this case? They told me, file a motion to dismiss for vindictive prosecution. That's a high bar to reach, but the idea is that these charges are not based on actual evidence of a crime, but on a corrupt motive by prosecutors. I think they're going to point to the political concerns here, the ongoing litigation in Maryland. But again, very difficult to prove that, so we'll be watching that closely.
Jordan, I know you're out there. We're in here. Are you hearing anything else about at what point Abrego Garcia is expected to land at Dulles? I know you said he was at a detention hearing right now in Nashville.
Right, well, the big question is going to be whether the judge grants that detention motion. If so, he's going to be held in Tennessee. This case was filed in Tennessee. So much of the attention on his case has been in Greenbelt, Maryland. That's where the habeas petition is to bring him back. They filed the criminal case in Tennessee. Now, one reason for that could be, of course, aside from that being where the traffic stop occurred, is that a consideration for the judge in deciding on detention is whether a defendant has close ties to the community. Obviously, Abrego Garcia has no ties to the middle of District Tennessee. He lived here in Prince George's County.
Got it. All right, so we'll have to watch this detention hearing to see if it gives us any sense of whether he will be coming to Dulles tonight or if he will be staying in Tennessee. We will be watching this closely. Jordan, thank you so much for your expertise and your insight as always. We are also getting some reaction from Maryland lawmakers tonight. Representative Glenn Ivey just went to El Salvador about 2 weeks ago to try and get Abrego Garcia home. He said this is the first step toward getting some kind of due process.
Up until yesterday, apparently, the Trump administration was saying they couldn't bring him back. He was outside of their control and their jurisdiction. It's clear they could bring him back, and hopefully they'll bring back the other 250 plus Venezuelans and others who are in this odd status of deportation, even though they haven't done anything or been convicted of any criminal activity.
We're hearing from Maryland Senator Chris Van Hollen, too. You can see from these pictures he visited El Salvador back in April and had a chance to speak with Abrego Garcia. And in a statement, he said, quote, "As I have repeatedly said, this is not about the man. It's about his constitutional rights and the rights of all. The administration will now have to make its case in the court of law, as it should have all along." We're going to have much more on this case coming up tonight on the news at 11, and for updates anytime, download the WUSA 9 app on your phone, and you can watch us anytime on the free WUSA 9 Plus streaming app.